got a lot to chat about. It's good to see Karina. Look at her right there. Yes. And we're actually jumping the pond. She's in the UK. And I'm even
Yeah.
further. I'm in Thailand, so we're all over the place. Like I was just telling her, it's evening here and it's 90 degrees, and where she's at, it's in the afternoon. I think like about 1 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm
It's about
thinking.
1 p.m. Yeah.
Yes. And I don't think it's 90 degrees in the UK.
No, sadly not.
So, anyways, before we talk to Karina, I got to talk to every one of you out there and say thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching the No Cover TV podcast and also listening. It's all on Spotify too. The audio shows are on Spotify, and of course, all the video shows are on YouTube, and the audio shows are on YouTube too. So you can always check those out. And of course, back in the day when we were on TV from '97 to 2014, I appreciate all you back then and on radio. And of course, now, thank you to each and every one of you. You're not getting rid of this ugly mug right here. I'm going to keep getting the music and the story of these musicians out there. That's what I do. That's what I love to do. And remember, No Cover TV is not in profit. It's not about the money of the Big Al. It's about doing the right thing. Yes, about the heart. It's about the heart. Oh, yes, indeed. So there's some people out there I always like to thank, and the list is really big. It's getting big. So I'm going to narrow it down just a little bit. And I think I'm going to mention maybe one person. Who should I mention? I think I'll mention this person right here. He just made a comment. And let's show it. All right, there it is, Karina. Let's give a big shout out to Brian Moore. All right, Brian.
Hi,
Hey, how you doing,
Brian.
brother? Let's give a big shout out to Brian Moore. He works for Karina from Rage Breed Records, doing all the booking, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing booking of interviews and trying to get us all out there with the podcast and everything.
Yeah,
Uh,
doing a great job.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
doing great.
Yeah, and I've already interviewed some of the bands from your label, and we've had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
maybe,
definitely.
maybe
I
too
was.
much fun. So
Oh, you'll
definitely.
always have lots of fun with Dave from Demon Christ. A big shout out to him.
Oh, big shout out to Dave. That was
Yeah,
a great show, Demon Christ. That was a great show. But
that was.
before we get started with Karina, I got to catch my breath and say my three favorite words. Boy, I've been doing this for 3 years. My three favorite words. Boy, and you all know it. You should be saying it to me. All right. Well, let's do this. Support, support, support. Support these artists. Go to the shows and pay cover charge if there is one. Then get in there and get to that swag table. Bring a duffel bag, backpack, load up, clean the table off, get the CDs, the albums, the t-shirt, the hoodies, the posters, the coffee mugs, the keychains, bumper stickers. I've seen panties. Get it all load up, get to the floor and enjoy that show. See if you can stick afterwards. Get an autograph. I still believe in autographs. Get everything signed because it means you were there. You met that person. It's a great thing. You always keep that in your heart. And also remember, these artists love doing what they're doing to put a smile on your face. And of course, your smile kicks right back, puts a big old shitty grin and smile on the artist's face. Doesn't it, Karina?
You always got to smile.
He'll do something. Definitely. So we're not going to waste any time in the house today. Is Karina Sher? How you doing, Karina?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Like I said, it's just a little warm here, but I am doing great. It's good to
Oh,
have you on, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me this evening and today where you're at. And we got a
mm,
lot to chat about. You're an interesting young lady. You are a very busy young lady.
I
And
am.
we, yeah, boy, I don't know how you have time to sleep. Because I remember back in the day when I was doing what you were doing, there was no sleep. There was no sleep. So we got a lot to talk about with Karina because Karina, it says right there, right below Rage Breed Records. She is the
Mhm.
CEO and owner of Rage Breed Records, aren't you?
I am indeed, yeah.
You are
Yeah.
indeed. That's right. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Karina here is a hell of a fucking singer. This lady's voice will knock you on your ass and kick it at the same time. Oh my God, this unbelievable, Karina. What is up with that? Mm,
I know, I know. The
oh
two
my,
different singing styles.
you know,
Polar opposite.
I I have a lot of female metal bands
Mm,
under my wing, and
mm.
I just am very impressed how you ladies can get those vocals down there, man, and just And it's like I can't even do that, let alone watch you ladies doing this. It's like I almost want to run out the back door because I get you scare the hell out of me.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah.
Oh, so, but but we'll get into that in just a minute. But before we talk about Rage Breed Records
Mhm.
and the musical part of things that you do with your music and stuff like that, let's get to know you a little bit, okay?
Okay, sure.
Maybe there's some things they don't know, and let's find out. Let's poke around. Will you let me get inside the head of yours for a minute?
All good. Yep. Very open
Let's
book
go.
and very transparent, so it's all good.
Okay, open
Mhm.
book. All right, let's see what we can do. Well, anyways, Karina, let's go back to younger days because you're doing so much now. I have a feeling you were born to do this. You were born to be in the music business. You probably came out of the womb singing ACDC or something. I am just, I'm just thinking I'm thinking you started early, but now between the ages of 5 and 8, 5 to 10, I want to say, we're listening to what our parents are listening to, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, whatever. But back in those days, do you remember what you might have been hearing on the radio or whatever that you caught on to or liked?
Yeah, so it's interesting because when I was very young, I remember I couldn't sleep one night, went downstairs and I put on the TV and there was Headbangers Ball on there. And they were showing a live clip of Guns N' Roses with Slash with his top hat and, Axel running across the stage. And it was the
Yeah.
most entertaining thing I'd ever seen. I thought, wow, this is different, you know. And I just loved it. And I watched the rest of Headbangers Ball, followed by Beavis and Butthead, and I just absolutely I was in stitches.
I
I could
bet.
not stop laughing. I was just literally, oh my god, this is so funny. And
Oh.
and then I started listening to the bands on that show, so I started to listen to more often. Now, funny enough, my cousins were also into the rock music side of things. So, I mean,
Good.
my cousin, one of them was into more the grunge side, and the other one was into metal. So, we were really into. Do you remember the band called Nelson back in the day?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't want to admit it, but
yeah,
yes.
I know. Pleasure. But it was so I kind of got into a bit of glam first. So it started kind of off with the Guns N' Roses, the Poison, Motley Crue,
Right on.
Nelson. But then I started to listen to Iron Maiden because I saw
There
it was in
you
the
go.
charts, wasn't it? So and then Green Jelly, and then there was all these like other things, and I was like, "Wow, this is really." And I felt more drawn to the guitar music than
Oh.
I did, like things like Take That, and I was just like, because all the
Hmm.
girls at my age back then were all into the boy bands, and here's me listening to Iron Maiden, Pantera, like
Right.
you know,
Oh,
it was
agreed.
so many different bands. I mean, I think the first cassette I ever bought was the Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion one, and then
Sure.
and then the second I think it was an EP I bought, and I remember it was an R price, and it was Carcass Heartwork EP, not the album but the EP, because what I used to do is buy singles first to get to know them,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
and
That's.
then I would and I'd get vinyl, so I'd get things like oh, what else was there? So yeah, then that's something I discovered Pantera. I bought Unbroken single. I was like, whoa, this is really ferocious. Like this is like
Oh.
and then I
Oh.
discovered Obituary, like World Demise and bands like that, and so yeah, I mean, very young. My favorite thing to do was go to R Price, buy a load of singles that were like rock and metal, which I didn't even know, but I just wanted to try them out,
Right.
and
Right.
so I discovered Wolfsbane. I discovered what Love Hate even. My
Love it. Yeah. Right
yeah,
on.
like all these. Like I was just on a roll. Like I was just as soon as I got my spending money at young age, that was
Right.
it. Our
Right.
price, you know. And then obviously back in the day there was these magazines called Raw. I don't know if you remember Raw
Yeah.
magazine. So and then I discovered Metal Edge, and then and then all these different magazines I used to buy, and then they started to do compilations. So later on in life, obviously, I would discover music through compilations, which is why Rage Breed do
Ah.
them, because it was like I discovered all the heavier bands through Terrorizer, Fear Candy, and what a great compilation. I was just like, oh my god, I discovered Now Nathrak, Neurosis, Old Man's Child,
Oh,
Stamping Ground, all those like really heavy artists, and I was
what?
hooked. I was
Yeah,
like,
you were hooked.
I was like, this is so cool. Like, this is like, but obviously back in the day, so going back to when I was very young,
Mhm.
I didn't know that women could do the screamy thing. So,
Right, right. I wasn't
because I was just
around
like,
it.
oh, right, okay, old seven or whole and then I discovered the band Satana Manhole with Tari B. And my
Mhm.
cousin, I remember that there's a distinct time she goes, "You want to look at this?" And I said, "Oh, what's this?" And she put Manhole Kiss or Kill video on, right? And I was like, "This is awesome! I didn't know women could do this." So, so I was like, "I need to do this. Like, I need to do this kind of music. But this is like, I didn't even know we could." But she goes, "Like, do you think you could do it?" I was like, "I don't know." I says, "I need to get in a practice room and have a go." So here's me in a practice room, never done this kind of stuff before. We'd only kind of done gothic rock to begin with. That's when I got signed with Haley and That Records. And then all of a sudden, I start to do the one-liners, and then, but at first I sounded like a burp. I'm not going to lie, I sounded
Okay.
terrible because it took a while for me to get
It does. It
that.
does. Yeah.
Because I was just like, oh, I need to do it though because I said it can be done,
Yeah,
and
you
it
got to
took me
train
a
those vocal
while.
cords. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I remember the first time I did Lost in a Miner's Game, and that actually got us 4Ks in Kerrang magazine. And it was like a one liner in the chorus. It was very catchy. And I could just do the one line at that point, like I couldn't like do the full the choruses and like I can do now,
Right.
like, the whole proper demonic stuff. But I started with that, and then so I did kind of like a rap metally thing, a bit like Tristana. I was really into Biohazard, and who else was there? I started listening to a bit of Cypress Hill because I wanted to learn how to rap. I wanted to do what she did. Basically, I was
Sure.
like,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is amazing. So um, so that part of my life, it started to be more about Rage Against the Machine,
Oh
Incubus, all that
yes.
sort of stuff, Biohazard. And so then we did a bit of a rap metal album, I guess, after that. And then we just released singles, which I've now put into like a sort of an album, which is mainly like rap metal kind of stuff. And
Okay.
then, and then, then I discovered a band called Opeth. And that is
Ooh.
when I was like, okay, this is so badass. This is like the epitome of demonic vocals, but there's beauty because he does the singing.
Yeah.
And and I was like, wow, like it feels like I'm walking through a forest. Like this is like amazing. But then there's that brutality as well. So I'm getting the
Oh
death
yeah.
like with like obituary, death, morbid angel, but I'm getting this sort of like demonic vocals with this incredible atmospheric music. And I was like, I want to do that. So then all of a sudden my taste kind of became a bit more developed. So I started to look at rather than just like, catchy things, I was like, I need to do something a little bit more developed. So Sales for Sinners EP was the point of when I started to fuse sort of death vocals with black metal vocals with melodic
Mm.
vocals.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that was the start of our sound, I guess. That the new
Wow.
sound of progressive death metal, you know.
Oh, yeah, and I've checked out both bands, which I want to talk about in a second. Between the difference and stuff, and your beautiful voice, you've got a hell of a voice, great vocal
Oh,
cords, great
thank
vocal cords, and it takes time to get those vocals down low enough and
you. Mm.
without hurting your vocals. Now,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
you've obviously have done a great job of taking care of your vocals and training and stuff like that. But
Mhm,
now I still want to keep you at a youngster for a second here.
mhm, mhm,
Now, during junior high and high school,
mhm.
were you in choir at all? Did you join any bands? Did you do anything like that musical?
Oh gosh, I've got so much to say about high school. These were like some of the. So I was always getting like solo parts. So I actually sang at De Montfort Hall. I did choir. I did
Ah,
just even like normal stuff, like when they had plays and stuff like that. So they always like, Karina, we need you to sing. I was like, okay, go for it. And any opportunity I could to sing, it was just like, let's just do it.
you just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
And
Well, good.
and so yeah, definitely during my high school days, I did that. And my first ever band actually was a band called Silver, and it was
Silver.
and there was a we were like three of us, and we used to go in the music rooms, and we used to just do covers of like Nirvana and the Cranberries and things like that. And we just we just kind of enjoyed, like we did like a little show for our it was so funny because I look back on those days and we were so amateur, but it was like it was so fun to do. And then I did
Oh
music.
yeah.
I did music for high school. I got an A in my GCSE, and they were like, because I did like a performance for the school, and it was called The Falling Leaves, and that was because I got signed very young, you see. So
Yeah,
I
I
was
heard
like
of.
16, probably I was probably 15 actually thinking about it, but um,
Unbelievable.
so Heading Their Records had my stuff, and they were like, "Yeah, we want to sign you."
Sweet.
So through him, I met John Mitchell, who's our producer now, and so we did like a school. It was called The Falling Leaves, and you can actually hear it on the discography album. And I did that live at school. So this is like in my teens, and
Okay.
it was amazing. It was
I bet
like,
it was.
yeah, it was great. It
Uh,
was.
well, that's really cool that you got into that, and now when you were, let's get to senior year, and we're about ready to get out of school, thank God. But anyways, did you, in your heart and mind, know when you got out of school, music was something you had needed to continue with? Even though we got to get a life and get a job, maybe go to college or whatever we do, was that something you were going to keep on the side and pursuing?
Yeah, so what happened was is um when I used to go to college and stuff, they were like, "What do you want to do? What's your future goals?" And I was like, really simple. I want to get a book published
There you
of
go.
poetry, and I
Nice.
wanted to have my art published as well because I'm an abstract artist as well. So I do poetry and art as well. And the third thing was I want my own label. I want my own music company. And I just knew what I wanted to do. I said I want to be a singer, but I would like to have my own label. And I knew from a very young age what I was meant to do. And I was such an entertainer.
Hey, you're right.
It's just
Yes.
naturally like, I just love to entertain people, and I love to make people laugh, and I like to, I just love to entertain people. I mean, whether it's been acting or whether it's been
Right.
music or anything, it's just entertainment. And I've always been a very extroverted person. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm very open
Sure,
about
definitely.
things.
Well,
So I'm very comfortable with who I am, I guess. It's like I've always kind
well,
of known who I was and what I want
well,
from life.
well, good. And like I said, you were born to do this. Definitely, this is what was you from the beginning. And look at where you flourished to. And we'll get into all that
Mm-hmm.
here as we go on because you're doing a lot of amazing things. I mean, you're doing it all. Wow, 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 wow. But I mean, so Karina here is the owner, like I said, of Rage Breed Records,
Mm-hmm.
and of course that goes all over the world, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Rage Breed Global and everywhere.
Yeah,
You're everywhere. You're everywhere.
pretty
So
much. Yeah.
okay, but before I talk about Rage Breed Records and we go down that path, let's talk about you and your music. I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to chat about that for a minute because uh, beautiful. I listened to Lake of Dreams, your
Mm-hmm.
solo project. That's your solo project,
Yep.
right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then I took a listen to the older band that you were in, Mind Lapse. That's great. That kicked ass. and
Yeah. We'll still do mine
amazing.
laps. Yep.
Uh, wow, amazing. Now, Mind Lapse that started around 95, 96.
Yeah.
That's been a while. and
Mhm.
you're still kicking it with. Is it with the same people?
No, so that's so what I do is I kind of release, uh, I guess, music with different lineups depending on the types of music I'm writing because it's mainly me, but it's me writing it basically,
Right.
and then they just add like solos or bits and pieces like that. But basically, it's all me writing on guitar. Um, so I do death metal guitaring and all the stuff that you've heard. Like so, the new single "Mind Lapse," "Rage of Masses." I wrote all of that, but the
Really?
producer was the one that played it on the single, and he also because he's a natural professional musician, he's signed by Sony and stuff, and he's recorded artists, like Enter Shakira and Architects and bands like that. So,
Very
so,
nice.
so yeah. So I mean, he added solos, little pieces here and there, and then keyboards, just to make the atmosphere. I mean,
Right, right,
yeah.
definitely.
So,
Oh,
so yeah,
that's
yeah. Mind Naps has been going for a very long time, and like I say, we've played with different subgenres and got to our sound to where we are now.
yeah. It's heavy, people, and it's great. But now I gotta ask this question because you mentioned it earlier.
Mhm.
How do we go from Nelson to what we're doing now?
So yeah, I mean, I mean, these are earlier stages, isn't it, of your
I
childhood?
know, I
I,
know.
I
I
think,
had to
I
pick
think,
on you.
I think the thing is, I still listen to Nelson. I'm not even going to lie. I still listen to Nelson, and I still listen to the classic rock bands. But I love my metal, and the reality is, I'm always going to listen to bands that challenge me, right? So it's like,
There you go.
and that's the thing. It's like I need to make sure that whatever I'm doing is going to challenge me because otherwise it's not going to sit right because I need to feel challenged. And that's the beauty of progressive death metal because it is challenging.
It is challenging, and I'm the same way with my music. Definitely, I
Mhm.
love all types of music, and I won't even say some of it because people won't believe me. But anyways, I don't know if you can see the comment below, but Dean Brown says, "Hey, Katina, Karina."
Oh, hi, Dean. Hope you're doing well.
So Dean, thanks for watching, and also Reagan Rocher says good morning. So all right,
Hi,
we got
James.
people
How are
watching.
you?
Yeah, so we got people watching Karina
We,
here.
we do.
So yes, definitely. So Mind Lapse is still happening,
Hmm.
but now you brought in Lake of Dreams, your solo project. When did you start this? When did this come about?
So actually, when I was doing Mind Apps, I was writing music alongside it, which was very chill, very ambient, very acoustic.
Yeah.
Because I was also listening to bands like Anathema, The Gathering, and also like Lacuna Coil, but their chilled stuff. I loved Four and the Moon and Night Spirit, but also there was also a band called Southern Isolation that someone introduced me to, and I really loved it. And it kind of tied into what I was doing anyway. And so I started writing a little bit more stuff like that as well. But a lot of the stuff that you have heard on the EP, that was written while I was in Mind Labs, alongside that.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's
Beautiful.
yeah, but the new track "Hold Me," which has recently been released, that's a new
I
song. So that's something
I
that
listened to that.
yeah.
It is beautiful. Now, are you playing the guitar?
I um, I wrote it, but like I say, John does the live stuff for
John
me.
does the live stuff.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
very
He's
good.
because he's such a good guitarist. I'm not even joking. Like he can, like I'm a good writer in the sense of that I can make good, riffs and I can hear it. But he is such a solid guitarist, and he does it for a living, and he like I just had to play him what I'd written like two times.
Right. You take over.
Literally,
Here you go.
yeah.
I I interview, kids under 18, and man, they make me look really bad at that age, man, at 12, 13. I started at 12, and it's like they're ripping it up, and it's like I want to just bury my guitar and sink my head in the hole. It's like, gosh, this is embarrassing.
Oh no, but this is what I say to a lot of people though. There's always going to be someone who is more advanced, no matter what age or
Oh
even
yeah.
even less than you. You know, some people might not even be able to do proper riffs, but it's about enjoying what you do
Enjoy what you do.
and owning what you do as well. Like, you know, I don't need to do
Exactly.
twiddle everywhere. You know what I mean? I'm not,
No,
because the type of music I'm doing works for me. So I never compare myself. I just think
you
this is
don't. No,
what works
don't
for
compare
me.
yourself.
Yeah.
Not at all. Now with Lakes of Dreams, now aren't you? Turning that kind of into a music film project, fantasy
Yeah.
movie type thing? Is that something we're going for with that?
Yeah. So Lake of Dreams is an actual movie being written right now.
Yeah.
So
All
we're
right.
it's going to be so the whole dynamic about it is a concept project between a druidess and a soldier that fall in love. But the thing is, his job is to kill witches, and they didn't know that when they first met. So it's a really dark romance. It's like, oh god,
Oh
you
my
know.
goodness.
So
Oh,
he's supposed to kill her kind, and they're falling in love.
fall in love.
Can you imagine how awful that would be? Right. So the situation is. Um, so, so she finds out what he does, and he feels really guilty. And now he's fallen in love with her. So, like, it's like, what does he do? You know, does he like he feels really guilty about her and her because he now realizes that they're not so bad, and now his whole thinking has changed. You know, and he's like, oh, so you actually this is a person I really love and get on with and fancy and everything, and now I'm in a situation where I should kill her, but right.
I love
So
it. I love
it's going to be an incredible movie because what happens is she goes to a sage in the forest, and they give her three cards, and each card is basically a film that I'm going to be making. So
it. Ooh.
so one of them in the first movie is where so the three stories are the one is if she met him now and she's not ready, she doesn't know how to
Okay.
defend herself. The second one is if she leaves him and they both go their separate ways, and what happens, and you know that's going to be badass as well. And then the third film is what the first film will be. So this is going to be her going in. So the spirits come down and say, right, if you want to be with him, there's going to be a great war because a king won't allow it. It's his, you know, because he's a king's hand, right? So you've fallen in love
Ah.
with someone who is technically working for the king to eradicate your kind. So if you really want to be with this man, then you have to go through. You need to learn how to defend yourself because she's a druidess. All she does is heal people. So he go. So she has to go into hell, and she has a spirit guide there, and he
Ah.
basically gives her, so he has to find people to help to teach her how to defend herself and think like the enemy. And each song that she it represents a character in Mind Lapse. So the Mind Lapse album we're writing refers to each character in the film that she meets in hell. So
That's cool. I
yeah.
like that. Wow,
Mm.
man. I've played a bad guy in a few things, and I love it. I love doing, did a couple little horror films, couple things like
Did
that,
you?
and some photo
Amazing.
shoots, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. Definitely like to, I got that look of, yeah, I'm a mean guy. I'll kick your ass. So yeah,
Mm.
I like to play that part.
Cool.
Yeah, don't
Well,
throw me any romance crap, because
recent
I will.
yeah, well, recently I've been so we came up with another idea which we were going to bring all our label artists into the movie as well, so they're going to be characters
Ooh,
in
that
the
would be
film.
cool.
And we were
That'd
just
be a
like,
lot of
yeah,
fun.
let's do it. Sorry, I've done used to do that before. But yeah,
I can
we were
also
like,
play.
let's
That's good. I was just gonna say I can also play a dirty old man. Hey, we'll just throw that out there.
yeah, you're welcome to be in the movie if you want to.
Yeah, I'd love
Absolutely.
to.
Yeah.
Anything, Karina, definitely. So
Mm.
now, since Mind Lapse is still going on, and you've got Lake of Dreams going on now with Mind Lapse, are we putting out singles, then making an EP and putting it
Yeah.
towards the
Yeah.
film? Is that what's going on?
Yeah. So this year we're gonna basically do singles, and then either at the end of the year or next year the albums will be out. But what we want to do is kind of coincide it, so we're going to have an album release party on a cruise next year. So
Oh wow.
potentially from New York to the Bahamas. So we're going to be headlining one event
Oh,
and doing a release party for that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to invite everybody down, and
oh
yeah,
man.
it's going to be epic. And
That'd
then
be
the
great.
same, Yeah, and then the same thing we're kind of going to do as Lake of Dreams, but that's going to be kind of in Europe. We're going to look at the Norway fjords, and you know, so because we want it to be all about lakes and stuff, so we're like waterfalls, lakes. It made sense to
Nice.
do that. So that's going to be a fantasy cruise, which is going to be
Great. Well, you can come over where I'm at because you've been here. You said a few times. We got a lot of water and we got a lot of
oh
different animals: monkeys, elephants, snakes. Oh my!
yeah, Thailand. Yeah, that's actually definitely a good suggestion. To be fair, because you know, yeah, I mean Thailand's incredible.
It's
There's
beautiful
just
here.
nothing like the place. It's amazing.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Okay. So, okay, now let's move on. You're doing the music and
Mm,
you haven't let that go. But now let's move into this other sector of your life, and
mhm.
that's Rage Breed Records. That's your
Yep.
baby. All
Mhm.
right. Now, what year did we put Rage Breed Records together? When did this come about?
Oh gosh, I think it was around 2020, I think it was.
About 6 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think what it is I wanted to release my own music again. It started off because I wanted to have full ownership of it. Um,
Right. There you
and
go.
it wasn't so much that I didn't like the label or anything like that. I just wanted to have my own stamp on
Right.
it and release things the way I wanted to do it, and so actually it could have been earlier than that. It could have been 2018. Thinking about it. But yeah, so that's how I started with a couple of releases, and then we've just sort of had artists on our label since then, and then but for me, it was mainly about to give artists a platform, um, to actually because we work really for independent artists. We're not the kind of we don't charge for the label. Do you know what I mean? Like we don't say right, you have to put X amount of money here.
Right.
So we try to do things an ethical way,
Okay.
and I think that's how it should be done. And so
Yes.
and we're quite lucky because we have things like the magazine, the TV, the radio. We have all these aspects of what we do. We've got a festival, we do live events. So there's all these branches of Rage Breed where we can obviously help artists build themselves through these branches of what we do. So, it's really cool because it feels like a metal family globally. It really does. It's like
Oh, most definitely.
it's
And and
amazing.
and, and I want to, thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing that because you could have just stuck to your music. You didn't need to think about anybody else, but you decided that other musicians and their music was just as important as your music and getting it
100%.
out there
Mm.
and doing it the right way and treating the artist the right way
Yeah.
instead of taking their money and giving them false hope and promises and then never see
Mm.
anything done
Yeah.
that way.
This is it. I
Fantastic.
mean, this is an important thing because the label side of what we do, we don't charge anything like that. We do have other services like graphic design, PR, just like most other companies. Um,
Right.
but that's it's separate from the label side. So, for example, if you wanted to sign with Age Breed Records, we wouldn't say, right, you have to sign this contract and you've got to pay thousands of pounds. It doesn't work like that. They get
Right.
70%, we get 30%. We do it the right way. Because the thing
There
is,
you go.
the artists are the ones that are, recording and they're doing all the work really. So, and then obviously, but we're very open about, because we're not signing so many big bands, like loads and loads of bands. So we don't have the time or effort to put into them. Do you know what I mean? We're gonna,
Right. Right.
we will sign, I think, um, a certain amount of bands that I feel that the two people on the label can handle. Do you know what I mean? And if we ever decide to go bigger, I will bring in the third person and not overcrowd and, look after my staff
Right.
because
Definitely.
ultimately, I care a lot about James and Brian. They've come into the team, you know, and they have their own ways of working, and then it's fabulous because you've got kind of a very structured approach with Brian, and he works
Oh
really
yeah.
hard booking interviews, and then you've got James who has lots of ideas with live events for our artists, and he's very good, and we do a lot of brainstorming, so we call it squirreling, which is really funny. And we're always scrolling because he's like, "Why don't we try this?" So it's kind of it's good because they both can bring in interviews, but James is going to be working for the live aspect in America to put festivals together for our artists, and
Okay.
it's important for our artists to feel looked after, and I think both of them do a great job, and I'm very proud of how hard they work, and it's just it's
Okay.
really good,
Well,
so.
yes, when you have a good crew, a good team together, it's
Mm,
amazing what you can do and how far you can go.
mm,
And you get to collaborate off each other's ideas and put it
mm,
on the table,
mm.
and you're amazed at what you can come up with. Really, it's
Oh
unbelievable.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the ideas are fantastic. I just think, you know, I just look at some of the ideas sometimes, and I just think this is incredible. This is such a good idea, and then having that time with them as well, and spending time, you know, doing the updates, and then what I try and do for our artists as well is give them a bit of an update on what we're doing, so they don't feel out of the
Okay.
loop, and ensure that they know that we're working hard, because that's really important, because people don't always
Yeah.
see it, but behind the scenes we're doing a lot for the artists. We're negotiating with
Right.
people. We're trying to
Right.
get all that sorted. So yeah.
Right. Right. Now, right at the moment, is Rage Breed looking for more artists, or maybe down the line?
I think we're still looking. We're still open to that. I think we're just trying to do it at a slower pace rather than
Sure.
let's
Okay.
just bring loads of people on. And that to me is important, because I want to make sure that the artists we do have on the label get that time. Because the initial part of when you sign someone, there's a lot of work to do. So, obviously we work with a digital distribution. So we've got to make sure
Jeez.
all the metadata is correct, that, the release
Uh,
information is right, all that kind of stuff. And then you've got obviously I do videos as well for the band, so I did both the videos for
did
um,
you?
yeah, I create the videos for Dave's band, Demon Christ. So I did Brace for the Nails and Thorns of Content, which his ideas are just so cool. I just love I was like, dude, I was like, wow. He's like, I want to really sing. I was
That's
like, let's
great.
do it, let's do it, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, um, because I kind of like a bit of my horror, so I like The Walking Dead and things like that. So I was just like, let's do it. So that, and then I did the official video for Abyssal Tremor as well, and I've done all my videos as well. So there's a lot of work involved. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm kind of more the creative, the graphic design, the web design, the site updates.
Okay.
So my kind of role in a lot of this is obviously overseeing and making sure that everyone's happy and they're making the decisions which I need to make, and then just assigning what people need to do and things like that. But then it's also about making sure that I'm promoting through my channels. So I do a lot of the
Right.
social media work. And yeah,
Amazing. Whoa.
I just yeah, I just try and help the artists, as much as I can, you know.
Okay. Brian's telling me my volume's a little low. Well, I can't control it, Brian, so I'll put the mic a little bit closer. I gotta get a new headset. But you can
Mm,
still hear me, right, everybody? Karina, you can hear me, right?
I can hear you.
All right. So I'll just talk a little louder, Brian.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now, excuse me. So,
Mhm.
but you've done a lot. Now, talk to me about Rage Breed TV. What is this about? Because I'm in the TV business, so I want to know.
Yeah, sure. So Ragebury TV started out with we started interviewing bands. So I interviewed Tony Dolan at Bloodstock Festival and VIP, Venom Inc., and then started to interview Aaron Stainthorpe from My Dying Bride back in the day, and then we did a recent one with High Parasite, Benighted, all kinds of bands, the bigger bands, but also the smaller bands, and we
Sure.
just kind of created like a cool TV platform to do that. And then we do really from stuff like recipes, mind, body, and spirit. We do against
That's
bullying. We do
great.
all kinds of stuff. So it's like even like we've got like a in the hot seat, which is like a comedy as well. So we kind of it's the devil interviewing,
Oh,
devil interviewing or the arse and asking really awkward questions, and it's really funny. Um,
that's cool.
we decided to do so. What we're going to do as well, we're going to bring that back. Actually, we're going to start doing some more on that because we
Do
just
that.
it's so funny. It's. I was in fits with the first one. I couldn't stop laughing. Um,
Oh,
so yeah,
TV, TV is fun. It sounds like you're taking the cameras out and you're going to the shows and recording and stuff like that, then editing and airing, right?
yeah, and also it's like it's like Rage Fest. I mean, we've got a platform to show all the bands that played. So it's just creating content. And we did Rage Breed Travel. So Nathan does his, when he goes on holidays and things like that or travels, he does like a bit of a summary of that or
Okay, that's cool.
it's all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I mean,
Wow.
just subscribe to Rage Breed TV on YouTube. You'll
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that because I remember in the early days of the '90s, I would take the camera out and go to all the different venues, shows, concerts, and that got old. So then I stuck to staying in the studio doing the
mm,
TV show just in the studio and let the bands perform in the studio. And
mhm.
yeah, they tore it up. Yeah, all the metal bands tore the studio up. It was great.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it was a good time. So okay, so now I noticed you've got a global recognition award, a best alternative label award. What's up with
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a Global
All
Recognition
right.
Award in 2025, but we've had other awards as well with the UK. I think it was UK. Oh, no, let me think now. UK Enterprise Awards, and then
Beautiful.
Midlands Rock and Metal UK. So it was like Best Alternative Hub, Best Label, all that kind of stuff. It was, and then Best Engagement with with community building and things like that. So yeah, we got a lot of awards, but I mean the Global Recognition Award I didn't expect to get, and I was just like, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Before we get any farther, now this might take a while for you to do, but can you tell everybody out in podcast land where they can find Rage Breed Records, Lake of Dreams, Mind Lapse, and everything about you and what's going on? Can we
Yeah,
do
sure.
this?
Yep.
Okay.
So www.ragebreed.biz is the main Ragebreed platform. On there, you can see everything. So if you wanted to listen to the radio, the TV, wanted to look at our Against Bullying side, Mind, Body, and Spirit, whether it's the label, who's on our label, it's got everything on the main Ragebreed site. So that's ragebreed.biz. If you wanted to have a look at our store, so we do merch and fashion now as well. So
Ah,
um,
merchandise.
so that's ragebreedstore.net, and you can get obviously some of the band merch on there. We are going to be putting up Demon Christ and the newer artists on there as well this month, so that's going to be kind of cool. And then
Sweet.
ragebreed.bigcartel.com is pretty much the store to buy, our services and things like that. It could
Okay.
be because I write poetry, you can do poetry. If you want life coaching, we do life coaching, graphic design. If you want EPKs doing, it's just literally all there. So it's all our services on there. And then mindlapse.net is my band website, and then lakeofdreamsband.com is the lakeofdreams.com. So if you want to check out some
I
of the
love it.
interviews we've done, all that kind of stuff, it's all there. So
That's great, Karina. Because we talked before the show started, and I told you a little bit about what I did back in the day, managing bookings and all that, and
mm,
how I would take care of the bands and stuff like that. What I went through, and what you are doing, and putting Rage Breed together, you put together a global family, and
yeah,
you are looking after and taking care of this family. Uh, so gently but yet so fiercely
mm,
that it's just blowing my mind because that's how I work. Okay,
yeah,
and I like how you focus on the artist's mind, body, and soul because this all has to come together to get
mm,
your music perfect and get it out there. You have
mm,
to be all to one in peace with yourself.
Mhm.
to get your stuff out there and be good at what you do. Oh, most
Mm.
definitely. So I
Yeah.
love how you're putting all these aspects together because
Mm.
when you own a label or PR agency, there are all those things, and a lot of people miss those. And the
Mm.
biggest thing they miss is being personal to the artist. It's
Mm.
more business than personal.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, and so you have taken it a whole new step, and thank you from the bottom of my heart and all the people out there that are working with you and for you.
Mm.
Definitely, thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you, that means a lot, that really does.
Definitely. And actually, I will put this on there, everybody out there. No Cover TV puts a 5-star stamp on Rage Breed Records. I support Rage Breed and what Karina does. And if you got anything bad to say about Karina Rage Breed, I'm coming through the screen and kicking your ass. How's that sound? No. But, anyways, Rage Breed kicks butt in my book, and I was doing it the right way because there's a lot of you labels out there, and you know who you are. I've kicked your butts for many years. Don't F with the artist. These people work hard for what they do, and their gear costs a lot of money. Okay,
Mm.
so treat these people good because if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have a job. Okay.
Mm. So true.
Exactly. Exactly. So thank you, Krita. You're an amazing young lady at what you're doing. Definitely. Now talk to me. I gotta hit this. Poetry and art.
Mhm.
Did you start writing poetry when you were a kid?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Did you?
first poem I ever wrote was called "The Midnight Horses."
The Midnight Horses.
Yeah, and it was for children. It was like it was I remember I was very young, and my dad is a poet actually. He's a
Wow.
professional poet, and he's a doctor, but he did all these other things as well. He's retired now, but he writes novels now. He does he also owns a poetry magazine, and he does a lot of he did acting back in the day, plays. So I know
Really?
yeah. I totally get
You,
it. It's
you
so
said he's a retired doctor?
he is, yeah.
What kind of doctor was he?
GP, and he did
Oh,
teach.
general practitioner.
Yeah, yeah, he did,
Ah.
and he also won an award with the Queen for celiac
Whoa.
research. Yeah, yeah.
Royalty is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. May I call you Princess Karina now? That's great. Royalty. I
Uh,
love that.
yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
go ahead.
He was like a big inspiration because
Oh, I bet.
I love that he did that, and he still does the magazine for poets.
That is awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, talk to me about your abstract art. You got anything close by you can show us or anything? What do you do?
I
What
don't
art? What?
with me, but you can if you look at so the Dear to Zenith is my poetry book I got published, and there's another poetry book called The Black Forest. Now in the Dear to Zenith, all my abstract art is in that book, so you kind of get both best of both worlds. You get to see all the
Ooh,
art, and you get to see and you get to read the poetry. So it's a hardback copy. It's only
wow.
$4.99, and it's from ragebreed.bigcartel.com.
There you go. And if you ask, she might sign it for you. I don't know. I
Oh
don't
yeah, yeah,
know.
100%.
That's
I have to
awesome.
take out his nice wrapping, but yeah.
Yeah, that is great.
Mhm,
So, and then, actress and stuff like this, and model, DJing,
mhm.
and life coaching. I mean, do you ever sleep?
Yeah, I mean, I get like I say, it's as and when we get sales, so it's kinda like a typical day would be like, I might just get asked for either life coaching or tarot reading or something like that. Might not always get that every day, but,
Right.
so I might be doing graphic design for someone or a video or at the minute,
Right.
I focus. The reason why I've brought in senior managers is so I have time to work on my script. Because
Mhm.
that's really important. I've got
Sure.
to get this movie done. So, but
Sure.
dribs and drabs of you know sales and stuff where they need me to do various things. Get on it. At the end of the day, why not?
Right, right. And did I hear tarot reading?
Yeah, yeah. Do tarot reading.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I liking that. And
Mhm.
you're not gonna read me because you don't want to know the answer. I'll scare the hell out of you. That's wonderful. So now, are you playing out per se with Mind Lapse or anything, or are you just focusing on the label?
Right now, I'm just basically focusing on getting the singles released first. Next
Sure.
year will be the live lineup. So James is responsible for getting my lineup in America done.
Okay.
So, because like obviously I write most of the stuff, so we just want to get live musicians in for the live gigs. So I'll
Sure, sure.
probably only be doing festivals rather than big
Mm,
tours. Um,
right.
because the thing is, I have a neck and head condition, so I can't, well, I won't be able to be out on the road for too long. So
I understand.
yeah, so
The road can be very hard on a person. I know.
well, it's all that head banging.
You're right. The hair flying
Neck
out.
and head
Yeah.
condition. It's not going to be great for my neck. So, so I have to be like cautious about what I can and cannot do. So yeah,
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm watching those videos from back in the day with Mind Labs, and you're all over. I mean, unbelievable. And weren't you a brunette back then?
I'm naturally got dark hair, but I like to dye it and I like to wear wigs.
Have
I like
fun.
Yeah, why not? Because I have a condition called PCOS, so it means that a lot of my hair falls out. So I had to kind of wear wigs early on, kind of
That's
thing, because of the disease. But
it's all good.
I have fun with it. I think it's great because like one minute I can be a
Yeah.
complete blonde, the next I can do blonde, or I've even done pink. I've done red. I've done all sorts, and it's so much fun because you can just mix it up. And for modeling, it's great because you can be like this person one minute, and
There you
then
go.
it's just fantastic. Love it.
And what's cool if you like bring those wigs with you to a gig, you can always fuck with the people's heads and
Yeah,
change a wig, and they think you're somebody else, and you can mess with them in a bad way, especially
yeah.
when they've been drinking a few.
Like, I had the right gig.
Yeah, yeah, that's so cool. I love it. Wow, we're at what? Wow, 51 minutes already. Wow, we can keep talking. I got a lot to talk about, but we're gonna have to wrap it up, Karina. But I
Yeah.
got a couple more questions before we get out of here. And where do we want to? Do we have? Oh, how do I say this with Rage Breed? Future wise, I mean, is there an ultimate goal you want to reach with Rage Breed Records?
Well, obviously, I want to make sure that the artists do well on the label and everything. I want them to reach their goals. Um,
Yes.
I want obviously the issue 4 to go well. So for our next magazine, so we're booking now for adverts. I mean, I just want to continue to do what I do and do it well. It's about we're in our infancy stages. We need to grow, but it's like with everything. It's how much time you put into it and the people around you and that you employ and when you work collectively as a unit and obviously we affiliate quite a lot with different brands because it's not just about my development, it's about affiliates to be developed as well and their brand to be developed so it's just about collectively rising together.
Okay, okay. And Brian's yelling at me again, saying my audio is low. So I got the mic right in my mouth right now. I hope you can hear me, Brian. I know I got to get a new headset. I'll get one next week. So, hey, Brian's been watching. I want to thank all of you watching the show tonight. I want to thank Karina. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us today on the No Putt to Cover TV podcast. It's been a pleasure, and I can't wait to work with more of your artists, you, and have you back on the show in possibly a year and see where we're at. Definitely. I would love
Fabulous,
to do
thank
that.
you
I
so
would love
much
to
as
do that.
well.
And I
Really.
can't, yeah.
Mm,
Before any, I just can't wait for the movie to come out. I
mm,
can't wait for that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be
it
real
is,
cool.
it
That's
is.
gonna be real cool. One more question before we get out of here, and this one's for the young people out there under 18 years old. Would you
Mm.
have any? What kind of advice could you give them that if they want to do what me and you do, what kind of advice would you give them?
Believe in yourself and don't care what
Believe
other
in.
people think because
Yeah.
it's so important because the thing is if you're just going to be the internet will drag you into different directions. You should do this, you should do that, you should do that. Just be true to you.
Yes. Be
That's
true to you.
Be
That's
true
it,
to
man.
you and make sure that it feels authentic what you're doing. Be true to yourself, be authentic, go out there, basically follow your dreams and believe in yourself. That's what you
Yes.
have.
Believe in yourself, and like you said, dreams come true. You making your dreams come true. I did the same. You out there can do the same. Make your dreams come true. And of course, don't listen to these idiots behind you saying, "Oh, you can't do it. This sucks." Don't listen to any of that crap. Do your
No,
thing.
not.
Because
You just
right, and you know, Karina, as well as I do, that there are a lot of naysayers in the business that want to put you down or offer you the world, and that doesn't happen, does it?
know, and we all know this. And the thing is that the main thing to remember is, recognize the difference between diamonds and glass. You know, that's what the thing. A
Good
diamond is
example.
a diamond. They're there to support you, help you, and they show it in their actions. Glass people posing, ready to cut you deep, and they'll take everything. You know,
Oh, yeah, yeah. It'll
you know
cut
as well
you.
as I do. Yeah,
I
but
I don't I don't know about you, Karina, but I'm still pulling the daggers out of my back from this business.
oh yeah, oh my god, you wouldn't believe,
My
you wouldn't believe, honestly. And the
unbelievable.
thing is, you just have to be so tough, and you can't do this and be weak with it. You have to be.
No. Yeah, have
Yeah,
some tough skin, definitely. Like
yeah,
so, definitely. All right, Karina, we're gonna get out of here. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me this evening or this
no,
afternoon, where you're at. Been a great show, and we got to talk about a lot of great things to help you artists out there. And get a hold of Rage Breed if you're, a heavy band and you might possibly want to get signed. They might sign you. I don't know. I
mhm,
don't know, but it doesn't hurt to talk. So give them a
exactly.
holler, definitely. And Brian, I want to give you a shout out for yelling at me for telling me you can't hear me. Can you hear me, Brian? And Brian's great because, like you said, he's very detailed on everything he gives me. I love it. So
Absolutely.
good deal, Karina. All right, Karina, this is your show. How you want to get out of here? Anybody you want to say hey, hi to, or anything?
I just want to thank everybody who supported Rage Breed, yourself also included. Thank you so much for a great interview. And to my team, Brian, James, and all the senior managers, all the staff, and also everyone who's, supporting what we do. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, because if it wasn't for all of you, Rage Breed would not be as great as it is today.
There we go. So I thank Karina for coming in. And again, Karina, like I said before, you need anything, you know how to get a hold of me. Just contact me anytime you want to. And I hope to see you in Thailand someday. I really do.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely. So, and I got to do one thing before we get out of here. And this is for all my friends that are epileptics. There you go. So, anyways, that was the No Cover TV Neon sign. I get you every time, people. Oh, yeah.
That's so
So,
funny.
so I just lost half of the audience. They're down convulsing right now. So, all right, people, we're gonna get out of here. We want to thank Karina. Thank you so much, Karina Sher, for joining us today. Check out all of the bands under the label. They're gonna, most of, I would say, all of them are gonna be on the No Cover TV podcast soon. Definitely. All right, and so check out Karina's bands. Was that you got your Lake? I
Like,
might put my notes there. Lake of Dreams and Mind Labs. Check it out, man. It's gonna blow you away because it's two different. I want to say two different genres because the one's acoustic,
mm,
just you and the guitar, and then the Mind Labs is yeah, that's just gonna. Yeah, that's gonna. You're gonna bounce off the walls. Mosh Pit Nation. All right, crew. We're gonna get out of here. Thanks to each and every one of you out there. Keep checking out the No Cover TV podcast. Hit that subscribe button. Like the shows, and once you subscribe, you can see all the upcoming shows coming. And we've got a lot of great shows coming up. And I'm already booking into April in May, and it just goes on and on. All right, Karina, we're gonna get out of here. So tell everybody out there. Peace. We're out of here. Peace, everybody.
yes.